My name is Kobe Bryant. I'm a five-time NBA champion, one-time MVP, and two-time NBA scoring champion. My office has been compared to a poisonous snake, the Black Mamba. I was called by it because of my stoicism and the amount of practice. This time, I would like to look back on my basketball career. I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1978. My father had played in the NBA, and I was obsessed with basketball from an early age. When I was 6 years old, my father decided to move to the Italian league, and we moved to Italy. To my shock, basketball was not that popular in Italy. Let's play soccer, Kobe. All the kids around me were into soccer, but my passion for basketball never waned. Thank you for inviting me, but I've got basketball practice. By the time I was 13, my dad retired from basketball. We moved back to the States. Well, this is when I decided to become the best basketball player of all time. 200 more shots. Kobe, I'm tired of this. Are you still doing this? I've still got 198 shots left. What time are you practicing? 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the morning? Kobe, is it too early? Because I like to practice as many hours a day as I can. What do you mean? Okay, my schedule for today is practice from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., have breakfast and rest, and practice from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., then rest a bit. Practice from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., take some rest. Finally, practice from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. How much more practice do you think you can get by starting at 4 a.m.? Why do you work so hard? Because I want to be the number one basketball player of all time. You can't be serious. I actually grew up with an overwhelming amount of practice. I averaged 31.1 points per game in the senior season and was named the state's best player. By that time, I was getting attention from NBA and college scouts. I went through basketball in college. I had a way to get into the NBA. I announced at a press conference that I was going to enter the 1996 NBA. I'm not going to college. I'm going to try the NBA. The NBA draft that year was a great opportunity for Allen Iverson and Ray Allen and other players who had excelled in college. I wasn't held in a particularly high regard. Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Rowan American High School. As far as the draft goes, I was taken 13th overall by the Hornets. I was immediately traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal was also called one of the best players of all time, had joined the team. I came into the NBA with a lot of confidence, but I spent my rookie season mainly coming off the bench. At the end of 5th round, where there was no end in sight with 1 win and 3 losses. Ah! I had a series of air balls. As a result, the Lakers lost this game and they were eliminated from the playoffs. Shaq and all my teammates around me cared enough to talk to me after the game. Kobe, you kept shooting even when you missed, and even if your teammates around you were atrocious. I knew you were going to be a great big man one day, so don't worry about missing shots. Kobe, you're still a rookie. You still have a future. You've done well. You can use this as a springboard to grow. Thanks. Sure, it's a level of blunder that would make a normal person desperate, but I was totally fine with it. A young guy like me in a high-profile match all over the US. Maybe people around me felt sorry for me because I screwed up, but I'm just going to leave it at that. The next season, I became the youngest player ever to start on the NBA All-Star team. In my 3rd year, I made an All-NBA 3rd team. I was able to defy everyone's expectations. I was an explosive scorer, getting past my opponents one-on-one and scoring a lot of goals. I was compared to the Black Mamba, a vicious, venomous snake. Because of that way, I was able to finish off my opponents, and the duo of Shaq and I was gaining momentum. Then I joined the Lakers, and 4 years later, I was in my golden years. From 2000 to 2002, the Lakers had a three-peat. No team could stop the duo of me and Shaq. But the golden years didn't last long. Kobe, why didn't you pass it to me earlier? If you'd have gathered the ball to me, our team would have won. I wasn't confident in my decision. The results were just off. Wasn't Shaq the one who was bumped out? Isn't that because you've been skipping practice? Me and Shaq arguing was a daily occurrence. Let me assure you, I didn't dislike Shaq. I didn't hate Shaq. And I'm sure Shaq didn't either. But things got too heated that day. You too! Leave it at that! As such, Shaq has been traded to the Miami Heat. As a team, we hadn't won a championship in 2 years after winning 3 in a row. They chose to keep the younger me and release Shaq. This trade was a business, but the world didn't see it that way. Kobe, who didn't get along with Shaq, got rid of Shaq. Shaq was the finals MVP when we won 3 in a row. Kobe didn't like that. Without Shaq, he wouldn't be champion. He's so selfish and self-serving. Sure, I'm giving my whole body and soul to basketball. I've always been upset that Shaq doesn't seem to be giving it his all. And every time the MVP of the finals is Shaq, it's not like I wasn't frustrated. But I think only Shaq and I know what's going on with him. Still, I didn't let it bother me. I worked on my basketball. In one game, I scored 81 points, second all-time in the NBA, and I was also a 2-time season scoring champion. Still, we didn't win in the NBA championship after Shaq left. In contrast, Shaq also won the NBA once with the Heat. I knew we couldn't win a championship without Shaq. That's what I was told. It was during one of these situations that I got some advice from Michael Jordan, whom I respect and admire. Kobe, you've already got everything going for you as an individual. But Jordan, since Shaq left the Lakers, I haven't been a champion. So now I need to understand the importance of connecting with each of my teammates and bringing out the best in them. I listened to Jordan's advice, and in the 7 over 8 season, I was a strong leader who brought out the best in everyone around me. I led everyone to our 4th NBA championship, the first without Shaq, and I won my first NBA Finals MVP. The next year, I won a championship again and became the 5th NBA champion. I was crowned champion for the 5th time, surpassing Shaq's 4 championships. However, during the 12 or 13 season against the Warriors, I ruptured my left Achilles tendon. I've been plagued by injuries ever since. Time to go, and I announced that I would retire after the 15 or 16 season. The season was not a satisfying one for the team for me. But in the final game of the season, my retirement game against the Jazz, I had a hell of an ending. It's a great way to end the season. Kobe just scored another goal. It's hard to believe he's retiring today. I scored 60 points in my last game, which was the record for the oldest player to do so, and the 6th time I've scored over 60. Of course, I won that game too, so it wasn't my kind of last game. Kobe, thank you for your long active career. Please give us some final words of farewell. What I'm proud of is not the season I won at the championship, but the fact that I never gave up, even in a bad season. We won the championship because we gave it our all. We were right. So Mamba out, I seek perfection.